It is the Riot Podcast, Friday, September 16th. Why don't you guys just take this one?
We got it.
Yeah, you two, you handle it. I'm going to go do something else.
Well, happy Friday to everybody. I didn't mention it during the show. I feel like I need to now. The British baking show returns today to Netflix with a new episode.
Oh, nice.
And there's a new episode of the Grand Tour, like a new special. So I am watching something this week.
You have a busy weekend planned.
You're like, with friends? Kind of.
Something like that. I consider them my friends. They don't really know me or anything, but it should be fun.
We talked about the box office stuff, and there's, again, a lack of some bigger names releasing this weekend, and I forgot to mention those.
Well, that's big names for Nikki.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I guess actually the British baking show, that's a big deal,
It's
right?
Cake Week, guys.
Oh, boy.
I've been craving cake.
Are they even allowed to do that with the Queen and everything?
Well, I mean, this is
You sure that's not postponed?
This is the United States version's release, because the British, when it released, was a few days ago. So I think it's allowed to, but it's maybe because it was already scheduled.
So you might have a pause coming later on.
Maybe.
Because
they filmed
it's
it
all
already.
in delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also talked about a shortage of a particular Thanksgiving item.
You want to say what it is? Are we keeping it a secret?
Should we keep it a secret, or should we say what it is?
Yeah, no, we should keep it a secret.
Find
Let
out
you
what-
guess.
Yeah.
All right, it's turkey. No, just teasing.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I do know a lot of people, like, I think my grandmother, she used to always make the turkey. She would always get it way
before?
early and then freeze
when
it.
the prices are good.
Yeah, and so I think sometimes it was like the turkey from after last Thanksgiving, and you're like, oh, okay, we'll just have that one. So
Yeah,
I know a lot
sounds
of people
good.
get them early.
I'm ready for Thanksgiving now. The meal just sounds so
know.
good. I can go for some turkey.
Such a great holiday too. It's because it's always, you know what I love about Thanksgiving is it's always on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So you always you get like a full 4 days off with Thanksgiving Friday and then the Saturday and Sunday. It's so perfect.
Well, you
It's
do
such a
anything
great Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving.
Do you do anything with Canadian Thanksgiving? Because that's in October.
Occasionally.
Occasionally.
What
Not
do you
as
have
much
for that?
anymore. But you know what? My
Ham?
Canadian grandparents might be here. So maybe we'll
around
have
that
to,
time?
right? Yeah.
And that's exciting times. I want to
Yeah.
celebrate too. I'll come.
All right, let's do it.
I'd love to come.
We would always, we'd play some Canadian bands. And I remember, one time they ended up not being able to tour. And it was like, well, why not? They're like, well, it's Thanksgiving. I was like, no, it's not. It's October.
Thanksgiving's up for another month.
It's like, what are you doing? You're wrong. And they're, oh, it's Canadian Thanksgiving.
We need to find out about other countries' Thanksgivings and also celebrate those as well.
Is there any others?
The more the merrier, because it's a great holiday.
It is a grand one. We also touched on Hudson. Want to talk about Lex's feet?
Yeah. Me and Lex have something in common with our feet.
You going to discuss it? Seems like a personal matter from what I heard.
She discussed it on the air, so I felt it was appropriate for me to also.
So she doesn't feel as bad?
She didn't seem ashamed at all.
Do you feel ashamed that
No, I also talked about it on the air, so
It's a bit
I'm totally
personal.
fine. We spent the last month talking about how I have pink eye.
I know. I'm starting to think that listeners are going to think that you're dirty.
I think those are the only two. These are the only two health issues that
That's
I've
all
had
you have?
though.
They
I
just have
haven't
to
had
do
a
with
lot of
washing
run-ins.
yourself. It sounds like
What do
washing
you
your
mean?
hands, washing your feet.
It's not about washing.
No, I think with an ingrown toenail, some people just have those.
Yeah.
if you don't clip your toenails.
No, I think some people are just susceptible to
Yeah,
it.
you just
prone
got
to them?
you got weird toes. Now, I don't know if Lex's toes are like this. I'll have to ask her if she wants to show me her feet. But
I actually don't. That's in the
don't you
That
think
handbook.
sounds
so?
kind of like an odd text to send.
I don't know if her feet are like this, but for my one toe, so the thing is, she had ingrown toenails. She's had to now have them removed by the doctor twice. For me, it was once, but it was both sides of the same toenail.
Which toenail was it?
Well, it's usually
It's
your big toe.
Oh, your big toe.
You've never had one? I
No.
mean, some people just get. But
I have really weird feet too,
If
so
I-
I'm surprised I haven't.
if I showed you my toes now, you'd be able to tell which one was the one that had the toenails, the ingrown toenails, because it doesn't grow the same.
Oh, really?
It's instead of being fanned out and what shape? What do you
Like a
call
fan?
This? Like a fan, sure. It's
Like a seashell?
It's just a straight rectangle.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
So it's
wanna
almost
see.
like you got it done. It sounds like.
What do you
It sounds
mean?
like it's like a perfect toenail.
I
Does
don't
it look
know.
weird?
It's not like if I was wearing flip flops or something, which I would never do. You wouldn't be like, you wouldn't spot it from a mile away. Be like, what's up with his toes? But if you're looking at the two side by side, you're
You'll
like, oh yeah,
notice.
you can. What happened to your toenail?
Well, keep your shoes and socks on. That's appreciated.
I appreciate
but
that
Lex
as well.
is able to do whatever.
Yeah, Lex, you can do whatever you want. Now, Hudson, you keep those things on.
But now we're all, or if she wears flip-flops, we're going to be looking.
Oh, we're for sure going to be
I
looking.
know. You're like, I couldn't help but notice, just like we're trying not to always look at Hudson's eye.
Don't look him in the eyes. Whatever you do, don't look him in the eyes.
Well, enjoy the podcast today, and we really hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. So text us and let us know what you're doing, if there's anything fun you have planned or when it's done, if you did it. You're welcome to text at 877-RadioU anytime. And then we did a food fight during this podcast. So if you're watching the podcast, go to the video before to see the Dunkin' collab with Goldfish for their pumpkin spice grams.
And that sounds like about it, huh?
All right, bye.
See you guys.
See you later.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
ChickfilA employees. Is there anything they won't do?
What's the thing they always say? It's
My pleasure.
It's my pleasure.
They will do it for you, and it will be their pleasure. They just go above and beyond, whether it's filling up your cherry Coke or standing outside with that thing,
The tent.
the tent on top of them, the portable tent, all day in the heat and the rain and who knows what else. They'll do it all. And it turns out, I don't know if you've seen this video, they'll also step in if you're getting carjacked.
I watched it.
Yeah.
That guy, the ChickfilA employee, was a pretty good fighter.
There's nothing about this if whatever you assume would be the lowest bar to clear of stopping a carjacking. Like, oh, he just said, hey there, don't do that. No, this guy stepped in and got into fisticuffs with a would-be carjacker and saved a woman and a baby. I don't know what would have exactly happened to them besides...
Well, they were being carjacked.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I think it was in the Chick-fil-A line.
Yeah, that's a weird place to do it.
I guess. I mean, we're not criminals, so we don't know, but I assume trying to carjack someone unless...
In broad daylight.
At a Chick-fil-A.
In front of a million other people. If there's one place that's crowded, it's Chick-fil-A during the daytime.
Maybe he saw, because, you have to park there and be idle for so long.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought she was close to getting her food and could just drive the car away.
Yeah, but whatever his plans and intentions were, it did not work out because we have a Chick-fil-A employee. This was in Okaloosa, Florida. The Chick-fil-A employee spotted the issue, steps in, tackles the carjacker, forces him to the ground, and then you see another Chick-fil-A employee rushing in, and a few other people step in to stop the situation, and the carjacker was thwarted. But I can't say that I would expect many other fast food workers to do that. In fact, a lot of other fast food places, they're probably carjacking you.
Oh, you mean the workers are taking it?
You're more likely to get carjacked at Burger King by their employee than they are to save you.
That's allegedly. But it is really nice to see, like, the guy does the whole swings him around. Like, you can tell he was totally a wrestler. And then he goes and tries to swing his leg around and just, like, pin him down. So he knew how to do some moves.
What a moment. I bet you he's, it must be one of those things where obviously you don't want people to get carjacked, but it must be, after you get to stop a carjacking, it must feel good to be like, I got to bust out some moves, Felt good.
Something to their day.
to flex the old muscles again, make sure I'm not getting rusty.
Next time I go through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, I want to see a little bit more action at ours, all right?
You
just
do?
a little of something.
You're asking people to carjack at Chick-fil-A.
No, I'm just saying that it shows you they could do more.
Oh, okay. So you don't think the Chick-fil-A employees are going far enough for you?
This guy was.
All right. Well,
so let's see what other locations can do for us.
All right. Let's see how fast they really can get your food out to you.
Yeah, because lately, every time I go through, they're just standing around.
That's because there's no carjackings going on.
It's true. Nothing to do.
That's the carjacking guy. He's got nothing to do.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
So, good morning, Isaiah.
Good morning.
Good morning once again, Nikki.
Oh, hi.
Have you seen this? I guess this was, Timothy Chalamet, Hollywood's It Boy.
Yeah.
Have you seen that his career rule is, this is the quote, no hard drugs, no superhero movies.
That's his career.
That's words to live by
Rules
Wow.
for
for
that.
Timothy Chalamet.
I like how they're like no hard drugs.
I mean,
Like, wait a minute.
regular drugs, different.
It's Hollywood.
Who's giving him that?
It's Hollywood. I'll tell you who gave him that. We just found out because apparently this was advice that he shared that went viral a while ago. But now we know where he heard that. It was from the first time he ever met Hollywood's former it boy, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, that was him giving the.
That's Leo's rule to live by, and he passed that on down to Timothy Chalamet, and so now that's what Timothy Chalamet is living by as well. You think that's good advice?
I don't know if I like Leonardo DiCaprio sometimes on his advice that he gives himself, apparently. But it's hard because he is a pretty good actor in the stuff
Man,
that he picks.
just name a Leonardo DiCaprio movie miss. It's hard to.
Actually, I can't remember a lot of them.
It's tough, isn't it?
I can't even name one, so
You can't
that's
name
I can't
one?
even name a hit. Oddly enough,
You're
so.
right. What has he done in a while?
What has he done that's been so fantastic?
The Revenant. You never seen that?
Never seen it.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Never
The
seen it.
Departed.
Never seen it.
Shutter Island.
Geez, he needs to get in some bigger movies if he wants me to see one.
Okay, multi-million-dollar movies.
Okay, but have you seen Timothy Chalamet in anything?
See, I don't know if I have seen the
Did you watch
so-called. No, I didn't.
He's
see
the new
Dune.
Willy Wonka.
God,
He
he
is the new
does.
Willy
You know what?
Wonka.
That fits him. That fits his face. That fits his face. But yeah, the whole this is great advice. I mean, I also got this advice when I was like in first grade, and they told me not to do drugs. But this is very life-shattering for Leonardo DiCaprio to let us all know that we shouldn't do drugs. So thank you for
Yeah,
that.
but the
superhero movies.
superhero movies, though, that's important
So
to note.
50% of this is actual advice. The other is just pretty much common sense.
It's Hollywood advice, and I think it's good. I actually think it's good advice. Think about it. Think of all the people who played superheroes, which is almost all of them. What have they gone on to do since then?
More superhero movies.
Exactly. That's all you can do.
See, wouldn't you say the biggest stars though are in superhero movies?
Some.
I would
Some
say
of
some of the people who have done superhero movies are like really big stars because of it.
But that's the only
But
thing.
that's their thing,
They're
though.
just a superhero.
Yeah.
But guess what?
And if you're a
Hey,
real
there's nothing
actor,
wrong
you
with
don't
that.
want that.
If you get enough money for it, Hudson, don't say you don't want that. You do.
Yeah, but look at Leo and Timothy Chalamet making plenty of money for not doing superhero movies.
True, but there's plenty of others who are not managing either of those.
I enjoy a good superhero movie, but as an artiste, I understand that you don't want to be known for just one thing, and you don't want to be pigeonholed. That's like the worst thing you can be in Hollywood, right?
Well, what if he's pigeonholed as Wonka?
What would you rather
That'd
be,
be-
Captain America or Willy Wonka?
That's a tough call.
You have to see how that one goes for him.
I do love. But think about the original Willy Wonka. It turned out pretty well for him.
Did it?
Gene Wilder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a good career.
Oh, I'll take your word on it.
Beloved, even beyond his days on Earth, still beloved.
How about this one though?
Okay.
If you want to make the most money, then realistically, you should go into superhero movies.
But if you don't spend it on drugs,
Yes.
then you'll save your money.
That
so
is
maybe
true.
you don't need such big roles.
So I guess it evens out that way. If you want to make the most money, then you can go into superhero movies, and then if you don't want to, then you don't have
So
to. make the most money.
what's your advice? Don't do hard drugs and definitely do superhero movies as soon as they're offered to you?
My advice would be don't do drugs. I don't even think I need to say that. It's not to be a part of it because I feel like that, yet again, that's common sense. So my advice would be just, do whatever makes you happy. Whatever role you can get, just take
Unless
it.
it's drugs.
Unless it's
If
drugs.
your rule is whatever makes you happy, you have to specify unless it's drugs.
Unless it's drugs.
you got to be specific nowadays.
But this is good advice from Leo because I can't imagine him dressing up as a superhero. So maybe for him, this just wouldn't fly.
I don't know. There's a superhero role out there for everybody. They're probably recruiting us right now.
Well,
as we
thank
speak.
you, Leonardo DiCaprio, for such big
Yeah,
advice.
sage advice.
This is The Riot. Radio U.
Now, talking of food, we got to start thinking about Thanksgiving. You want to start planning your spread
Yeah.
for Thanksgiving. It's only 2 months away.
It'll be here before you know it.
It will, and you can't.
And you got to put in your requests for your parents now as they plan.
Sure, exactly. And I believe there are people out there already working on the Thanksgiving feast. But something that you may want to strike off of the menu right now so you can avoid disappointment anything involving cranberries.
Never put them on there anyways.
You don't?
I don't like cranberries.
Why not?
Just too tart. It was never a part of like Thanksgiving meals growing up. So like we didn't always have to have it. And then I feel like if someone did bring it, it was just like, oh, thank you.
You don't even do the cranberry juice and ginger ale or 7-Up mixture?
Nope.
No?
No cranberries.
That's a classic.
Well, okay.
You love ginger ale.
I do.
Why do you not do that?
Well, I even like the lemonade ginger ale, but I don't like the cranberry ginger ale.
Oh, man. What do you like?
Nothing.
Yeah, apparently not. Well, for some people,
Yeah,
not Nikki.
That's it.
You're tough to please.
Because I don't like cranberries.
For some people, this is a big deal where Thanksgiving is ruined because apparently there's a cranberry shortage. I don't know if you know this. I didn't really realize. Cranberries are big business in Massachusetts.
Because they make them there?
They grow them. Yes.
They make them.
They make them. They grow cranberries in Massachusetts. The problem is this year there hasn't been any cranberries to grow because out of the 14 counties in Massachusetts this year, 10 have experienced extreme drought.
Oh.
The other 4, severe drought.
Yeah.
Which is not as bad as extreme, I'm learning, but both are bad.
Aren't they made on the water and they bring them in?
In a bog.
Yeah.
I love food that's grown in bogs.
So there's not enough water with the droughts, and so they have a issue with the problem of the harvest
That's right.
this year.
It's hard to have a bog without water. It's all evaporated and no rain and stuff.
Well, it's a delicate fruit also. If somebody gets too much rain, then they get a fungus a lot of times, so that can ruin it.
Yeah.
So if there's not enough water, the berries won't grow.
So
it's a very much a sweet spot, and it is not the season for them.
It's a beautiful artistic dance those cranberry farmers have to do to just finally curate the cranberries we need for our Thanksgiving meals. But this year, it sounds like they haven't been able to do that. And so you may experience shortages on shelves, although, cranberry, what is it? Cranberry sauce, cranberry jelly. It comes in the cans. It's canned. So it should be good for years, right?
I think they probably have enough.
You think they have a backup?
They also said there's about 1 month left in the harvest time. So they're just hoping to get more rain during that. If not, farmers, they say, will have to learn to adapt to challenges to make sure there's cranberries for future seasons.
That quick of a turnaround, huh?
I
1
guess,
month?
yeah.
Like they grow them harvest them in October, and they're on the shelves for us in
I think some people
November.
buy fresh cranberries too.
Yeah, probably. They might make their own cranberry sauce.
So if not,
maybe your tune would change if you got to try that.
You'll have to go to the cans.
Giving you a lot of flack. I don't like cranberry sauce either.
I didn't think you did.
No, I don't. It's not good.
does?
I'm thinking though, like in the fall we'd go do like apple picking, or you go pick other fruits. Do they do that? Have that option for cranberries? Obviously not this year. There's none to pick.
Probably
But
not.
Can you go out in the bog?
Yeah, I don't
Is
think.
that like a fun Saturday?
You just put on your big, tall, like rain boots.
The waders? Yeah.
I don't know if
That
that's
sounds like that actually could be more fun.
Maybe if you're in Massachusetts.
Yeah, but not this year.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
So I have here on my sheet, Nikki.
Yeah.
You'll see. We need to talk about Lex's feet.
What happened to her feet?
Well, I learned something about Lex from the evening show last night.
With JR.
Lex and JR last night on the show. We're talking about how Lex has twice in her life gone to the podiatrist. That's the foot doctor.
Yeah.
Both times to get her to get ingrown toenails removed.
Ooh.
And so I learned that her and I have something in common.
Do you have ingrown toenails?
I've only been once.
Yeah.
So I'm not as bad as her. But the story she was telling was pretty good though.
Because it hurt, or?
Well, yeah. Have you ever had one?
No, I don't think so.
No, you don't have that in common with us?
I think I would know. I've never been to a podiatrist.
Oh, well, you're missing out.
I don't think I'm going to add
They're
that to the...
interesting people, which is why Lex was talking about it. So she says the first time she went to the podiatrist is when she was, well, obviously younger. Everything that already happened when she was young. So she went to the podiatrist with her mom to get an ingrown toenail removed, which is also the way I went to the podiatrist. As a teenager, she had to take me. And she said that the podiatrist made her cry from like pulling the, I don't know. With me, I think he used a laser. I don't know how he did it for her. But he made her cry because of the pain. And so then she says, doesn't it bother you Doesn't it bother you that your profession is making people cry?
Yeah.
And it made the podiatrist cry.
Oh, no. Don't they give you a shot or like numb your foot, like your toe or something?
I don't know. I don't remember. I think so.
Yeah.
I don't, they didn't, and I think this was intentional on my part because I probably would have thrown up. But like they put a barrier up so you don't have to see your foot when they're digging around in there. Now I just do it myself. When I get an ingrown toenail, I'll just dig around myself.
Oh, I don't like
I have my own laser and everything.
No, you don't.
No, but I do. I've had a recurring everybody doesn't need to know this, but I just deal with it myself now. Maybe I could give Lex some advice so that she doesn't have to go to the podiatrist and make her cry. But apparently she just went back, so she has had a reoccurrence as well. This time, she asked the podiatrist. She said, "What made you want to get into podiatry? Make your whole life people's feet?"
Yeah. What did the podiatrist say?
He said, "Well, better than being a gastroenterologist or doing colonoscopies or something."
That's a good point.
Looking at something else.
Good
and
response back.
She said, "Yeah, but there's also other things you could do too." And so apparently he started like sincerely defending his career choice of being a podiatrist. And she says, well, she eventually had to calm him down and be like, listen, I was just joking.
Well, first off, Lex, stop talking to the doctor.
Just sit silently, let him rip your toenails out.
And second, Lex seems more responsible than us because who's going to a foot doctor?
I know, right?
You'd try anything on your own to figure that out before going to that.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what I do. But I did think it was funny her telling that story too, because when I went to the podiatrist, he had a real sense of humor about it. We didn't bring it up. And he's like, yes, I did make my whole life
about feet.
Feet. Some people think that's weird. It's just what I do. Somebody's got to do it. It's what I do.
She needs to change her foot doctor.
I got a guy I can recommend. Haven't seen him in a while though.
Wonder if he'll remember.
He taught me everything I know.
So you can do it on your own.
Yeah. The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but Tom Brady, football's golden boy.
How's he doing since he's playing again?
Well, they won their first game. It was against the Cowboys.
Has he only done one game?
Just one game so far.
One game. And so it's still hard to say how impressive the win was. They only scored 19 points. It's not a ton. But the Cowboys do have Micah Parsons, possibly the best defensive player in the league. So it's still early to tell. We'll find out a lot more on this Sunday when they take on the New Orleans Saints.
That'll be harder.
But what we do know is that Tom Brady on the field doing okay. Off the field, maybe not so much. Turns out him and his wife Gisele Bündchen living in separate houses.
Oh, well, I think when you're that rich, you can anyways. Is that weird?
You think
That's definitely weird.
I don't think it's weird.
That's for sure weird.
How many houses do you think they have?
They probably have a bunch of houses, but you think they'd be living together.
You think they hang
Not
out.
if he's playing football.
You don't think so?
No, I'd be like, hey, you have that house. I'll be somewhere else.
Then why is it in the news?
Because everything's in the news.
Rumors swirl.
That's right.
Trouble in paradise, if you ask me.
This is not the first time that we've heard rumors here in the last couple months since Tom Brady announced he was canceling his retirement and coming back, that there was some dissension among him and
Trouble
Gisele.
in the homes.
Yeah, there was a divide. They aren't. The quote is, Tom and Gisele are still not seeing eye to eye regarding his retirement. A source tells us, the publication. They are currently living in separate houses, but continue to communicate. Okay.
They're talking. That's great.
That's
good signs there.
That's the key to happy marriage is communication. So if they've got that,
just very little.
From different homes.
I'm still not worried.
You're not worried, huh?
Because again, I mean, yeah, if you have plenty of homes, and I think that's very common for especially football players, you're not necessarily staying where they're playing, and why not? Just use one of your other places.
See, I think he's done for.
You think?
I think it's game over, Tom Brady.
As a player?
Not not as a player, but I think him and Giselle are having serious issues because she's been very vocal that like she doesn't want him to play anymore. Like that's been pretty obvious. And so when I assume, obviously we know that he retired and then retired, and so that had to be like the last straw. She's probably been begging him for years, like please, like you're playing this super physical sport, like you've already accomplished everything, like you're no doubt the greatest quarterback of all time. You've already won however many Super Bowls, like you have nothing else to prove at this point. And so when he was like, okay, I'll retire, then he retires, and she probably was so happy. She's like, oh my goodness, he's finally done.
Let's move into our one pick, one home.
Let's live together. And then when he went back on his word and started playing again, she had to be so mad. He literally just went on a vacation with his family during training camp, and when he came back
to try to fix things.
And in the press conference, he said, when you think about however old he is, he's like 42 years old. He said this is the first time that his family has went on a family vacation.
Aww.
That's insane. Think about how old his kids are at this point. Like, I mean, football is great and all. You've already accomplished everything, but your kids are only little for so long.
Well, his kids aren't little anymore. They are 9, 12, and 15.
They've never been on a family vacay?
Yeah, but think about, I don't know about that.
That's what he said. Vacation. It was a quote. It was a quote.
But your whole life is a vacation. You live in a you live in a mansion with infinity pools constantly in all of your different homes. His kids are 9, 12, and 15. He's supposed to spend time with his kids. Do you want to spend time with your dad when you were 15?
That's true.
No, you wanted to watch TikToks and play video games.
While he plays football.
Yeah, so that's what he's busy doing. And Giselle, you getting concerned about Tom Brady? She says this is a very violent sport, and she has her concerns. Tom Brady never gets hit. He's back there. The referees flag if somebody breathes on him.
Okay.
He's fine. And nobody else retires when they're 45. Let him do what he wants to do.
I don't know about you two being my source of football gossip. I'm not sure.
I think it's not good. I think it's not looking good for him. That's not good signs.
I just want someone today to be like, I heard Hudson and Isaiah talk about they're not even living together.
They're not living together. It's not looking good. She said, and the other quote that she just said a couple of days ago was she wants him to be more present as a father. That had to strike him in the heart. If she said you're not being
in
present,
public, she said that.
That's what she said. It was a quote.
You guys, this is true.
He said she needs to be more present as a father. There's no way. I'll tell you this much. With all this going on, no way Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl.
Oh,
no way.
No chance. And it's tough to say, but Tom, you can do better than Giselle.
What?
You can do better.
That is
you can find somebody that will let you live your life.
They have
you can
3
be
kids
your own
together.
Man. He's already divorced once.
He just split up the family, Hudson. Just ruined the family.
She's splitting up the family with
maybe
by being
his football
difficult.
Career that's splitting it up. What are you trying to prove, Tom?
The Riot Radio U.
This is fascinating. Isaiah has pointed out a survey that says that most Americans, more than 50%, claim they can name every teacher they've ever had in their lives.
School teacher?
Every school teacher. Now, what do you guys think? You think you can do it?
I don't even think I could tell you one teacher's
You can't name one teacher.
That's wild.
That is insane.
That is not true.
Go ahead, Isaiah.
I can name all my teachers, I think.
No, you can't.
I could go through, I would say, all my elementary teachers.
Are you saying your homeroom teacher or like every single teacher you had?
I could go back to first grade, and I could tell you who my teacher was.
So let's see how far you can go.
Ready? I'll start. Actually,
I mean, there's no way of verifying this. So.
I can tell you all my teachers.
You just make all this up.
When I was in kindergarten, I believe the first time was Mrs. Perderi. Then I had Mrs. Townley. I went to kindergarten twice. Don't talk about that.
That's common now. That's
and
common.
then Miss Gustafson, Mrs. Salmons. That's second grade. And then third grade was Mrs. Beck. Fourth grade was Mr. Franks. Fifth grade was Mrs. Mitchell.
Hang on. Did you brought this to us? Did you just ask your mom?
No, I didn't ask my mom. I remembered.
You remember that?
I think I could. I think once you get into like middle school and high school, because then you have like 8 teachers, which makes it harder. I'm sure I could remember if you like asked me who my teacher was for like a certain grade and certain subject, but I don't want to go through them all. That's like 50
not
teachers.
fair for you. You can.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can. What was your teacher?
I can name my mom, but she's not the only teacher I had.
Oh, really?
She had to bring in outside help to deal with me. No, but most people probably don't know this, I guess. But if you're homeschooled, there's certain classes that like. My mom wasn't equipped to teach like chemistry, really, like there's different things where all the homeschool group, the community will get together in a certain area. And so they'll offer like, oh, this dad is a engineer or whatever. He can teach the whatever class that would apply to. And so we did stuff like that. We had gym where
Like guest teachers.
Guest teachers, or where you'd all gather like once a week and do it. And so we had gym once a week and stuff like that. So that said, I can't name. I actually was like, oh, I probably could do it. I can't name. I don't know how many. I think I named like two, and I didn't have that. I obviously had way less teachers than you guys. I can't hardly name any.
Well, I had a bad
Sorry,
attitude
guys.
my
Sorry
whole
to my
school
teachers
career,
if you're
so
listening.
I can't remember any of them.
I can't believe you can't name one though. That is wild.
I don't think I got along with most of my teachers.
Well, they didn't like you either.
I can
so.
tell.
They did.
yeah.
They wanted to reach me.
They
you know?
wanted you. They wanted Nikki.
me to. I
But
just
no.
didn't feel like it.
Sheesh.
For me, I think I could name like I bet I could name almost all my teachers that I had at school.
Were you like friends with your teachers?
My teachers loved me.
Oh, wait,
What do
you
you
had
mean?
a-
Shocker.
Did you have like a smaller school?
Yeah, I went to a much smaller school, so my teachers they love me.
Okay. Because it's not fair, like, if you're like, yeah, and I also grew up knowing that person.
I didn't. I only knew a couple of them growing up.
Small town.
But I
Just
grew up-
outside of them.
See, I grew up actually knowing these people. These are the parents of other
It
kids.
was Bobby and Billy's dad.
Right. And
Was
I
his math
still-
teacher, and then Sarah's mom.
I
that
still
was his
don't know who
science
they
teacher.
were. I can only remember them if I didn't like them.
Sure.
For the most part.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, I still think it's wild. Nikki can't name one.
Nope.
Or you just don't want
Disappointing.
to.
Including the one we helped encourage to retire.
Helped encourage
So you remember
to
that? You don't remember their
retire.
name.
Because we had some meetings in the office.
Yeah,
with
Nikki
them.
was leading the
Tell us
charge.
more about
Get
that.
him out of here. Get him out of
Yeah.
here.
Well, text us and let us know, like, maybe out of all of them, how many you think you could remember?
Give us
like
a
handful,
percentage.
or a couple, or can you do all of them?
Sheesh, 8772 Radio U.
Thanks for watching the worst of the riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more riot.